Hello, and welcome again to the anime corner of Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks. Still Sean, still Nans.
Today we're going to discuss, instead of doing a review, we're going to talk about why anime has had such a boom in popularity in the last 20 years.
Give or take.
Approximately. And
What excuse as my shirt here says.
why anime won. Japan had sailor-suited mecha babes with world-cleaving dye-claves. America had a bunny and a mouse.
As you can see, Mickey and Bugs are not having a good day.
They're on bikes. And that's part of it, certainly. Now, anime has been dubbed since the 70s, but, there are a few shows then. But in the last 20 years, dozens, maybe hundreds of shows have been brought over. And
right.
give or take, if you look at the anime selection at any video store, do they still have video stores?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, Amazon.com. Yeah. But there are a couple of reasons for this. I mean, business-wise, a lot of it...
It is cheaper to dub than to
make
create
from scratch. That's a very simple truth. Of course, if people aren't watching, then it doesn't make a difference how cheap it is. Now,
Absolutely.
part of it is stuff like Pokemon. That's sort of the gateway drug for a lot of people because it has so many merchandising tie-ins.
It started with a Nintendo game, so they made an anime. And then they made more games, so they had to make more animes, which is why it's still around, 700 episodes strong.
Yeah.
Good
A little
God.
ridiculous, frankly.
That's a discussion for another review.
And of course, that also gives you things like, Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And things of that ilk. If they can, make extra money with the merchandising, they're just going to keep pushing it. But again, the matter is, if people aren't watching, that doesn't matter. And part of the reason people are watching is because, well, frankly, it covers the gamut. The Japanese embraced animation as a full-on, this can be for everyone, art form. Whereas in America...
We tend to think of it as for little kids.
Yes. Although if you go all the way back and look at the original, like Betty Boop cartoons, those weren't really meant for children. But somewhere along the line, someone decided, you know what, this needs to be child-friendly. And so we have like 50, 60, 70 years of dumbing down.
Yeah.
Where,
Starting with the Hays Commission, then just censors in general.
If it weren't for the Hays Commission, I'd give him the Boyd.
We have to, but the Fox censors won't let us.
Yes. I mean, they'll sneak in adult-style jokes, but that'll be it.
Yeah.
And frequently, it's a matter of how does that get past the censors?
There's a whole trope on it.
Oh, yes.
DivaToast.com. Check it out.
But anime, it will have things for small children, like Hamtaro, which is very cute, but never belonged in Toonami. Things for older kids, things for teenagers, and things for adults. And when I say adults, I don't just mean the sex. I mean, yes, there's lots of really filthy anime out there. But there's
Which
also...
covers every flavor under the sun, unfortunately.
Yeah. But there's also things like Ghost in the Shell, which has these deep, deep philosophical discussions. But part of the whole point is, what makes you human, especially in a world where your body can be a machine? And we've talked before about things like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, the level of violence and sophistication is just way too much for a child. These are older teen, adult-oriented.
So
And
as
that's-
Full Metal goes, I've met a couple of kids where that didn't stop them.
Oh, well, doesn't always stop people. What can you do? But the fact still remains, it's not aimed at children. So, whatever age group you're in, you can find an anime that'll be aimed toward your mentality. And by the same argument, it also covers the full gamut of what's the word I'm looking for? Genres.
Yeah, genres. I mean, hardcore action, romance, romantic comedy, Rama and Fruits Basket. Oh boy.
Science fiction, mystery.
Oh yeah.
What else?
Fantasy.
History. Literally anything you can think of, you can probably find an anime. It may not always be to your personal taste, but it will still be in that style. So,
admittedly, under history, they tend to lean towards their own history more than world history.
oh, right, because America doesn't do that.
Okay, a touch.
Miyazaki does French.
Miyazaki has been known to do French, but still,
Which one was the French?
I'm not completely sure.
Almost all of them for style-wise.
Style-wise, apparently almost all of them. But
Apparently.
whatever. But anyway, the point is, anime just has such a wide selection, it just makes it way more accessible. And fortunately, for those of us who have discovered it, the companies are willing to bring more and more of it over when they realize, hey, wait, there's a market here waiting to be tapped. I mean, I know there's still people out there with the mentality of, and animation is for children. But you know what? If grown-ups, at least some grown-ups, didn't still love animation, who would be making it?
Exactly.
I think another thing that has helped anime have such a popularity boom over the last 20 years is a distinct improvement in dubbing. Because you look back, they still make fun of the dubbing that was in like Speed Racer and Astro Boy.
And Voltron.
Because frankly, it was pretty awful half the time. Too fast, not enough emotion.
Every now and then the lip sync slips badly.
Yes, as Joe Bethencourt once said in one of his songs, if you're poorly lip synced, are you Japanese? They've gotten way, way better about that. The lip sync tends to be very, very, very good now. Now and then it'll still be a little off because sometimes you just can't help it. The voice actors are now able to do a lot more with it. The truth is, if you look back at some of the old cartoons from the 80s and 70s, a lot of the voice acting, just in general, isn't very good. It tends to be really melodramatic. They've gotten a lot better about that. Yeah, that's also about the cast, especially with like some of the anime movies that have been dubbed. They'll get actual, regular movie stars to do some of the voice acting.
Because hey, this is fun.
It gets interesting looking at this cast list, going, huh. Although I was at a panel discussion, it was at Worldcon, they had some voice actors who are kind of unhappy with that because when they start giving those kind of roles to big name actors, it takes work away from the regular voice actors who do this as their main bread and butter, which is an issue. As fun as it is to go, oh, hey, look who that voice is. The matter is, they have a right to be a little threatened for their paycheck.
A bit.
But anyway, got a little off topic there. But anyway, the point is, I know a lot of anime fans still prefer subtitles because they're still with the mentality that dubbing isn't good. This is mostly because they stopped listening to the dub while it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
or there's enough changes along the line that the purists are all.
Of course, that's another thing. The editing has changed. I mean,
but we discussed that in our dub versus sub review. So
yeah, but just a brief point is that there are times when they chop it up a lot more than other times. These days, especially with like Adult Swim, you can check out anime that's been almost completely unedited if it's edited at all. That also helps. I know various people who go online, discover everything that got changed in the show they thought they knew, and have basically rediscovered the show anew. Like Voltron.
Yeah, discovering Golion and Dirogar XV. Woo!
But and even the stuff that's now shown mostly for kids will be slightly less edited than it used to be. And as you mentioned before, they're more willing to keep the Japanese names. But
that's it.
Basically, they're treating it with more respect for one thing, and that helps.
So,
and otherwise, it's just something that it's just sort of caught on. It's been spreading like a fungus. But for those of us who enjoy it, that's a good thing because it gives us more to check out, legally, as opposed to trying to find it online because we can't find it anywhere else.
Let's face it. Japan is our masters now.
Yes. But generally speaking, I know a lot of people, sneer at anime, but it's mostly because they haven't actually watched any. There's But, Spirit Away. My mom did not want to see that. She kept saying, oh, I'll just stay home. We made her go. By the end of it, she was just completely sucked in, locked in. She loved it.
And now, no big surprise, we are big-time Miyazaki fans.
Yep.
We'll probably discuss this work eventually.
I think we might already have.
Well, maybe in passing.
We'll have to double check. We've done enough of these, and there's enough time between them, we can't remember. But basically, like we said, the real key thing with anime is it covers literally everything, every age group, every genre. And that makes it so interesting. And the animation typically tends to be very good, very nice to look at. I mean, yes, some of it will be cheaper or weirder. But, American animation has been my observation for several years now that a lot of it looks cheaply done. I mean, the background art will be very slapdash. It'll barely be there. And that always bugged me. Because, I was used to stuff like Disney where they actually worked at it and, gave it decent artwork all the way through. So when I found anime, one of the things I loved with the animation tended to be pretty high quality. Yes, there were a few that were off, but they were the rare exception, unlike with the American animation where the good stuff was the rare exception.
And lots of details, both in the background and the foreground.
Mm-hmm. And in the characters themselves, quite frankly, some of the costumes are so detailed it's a little ridiculous. But what can you do?
Well, obviously that's cosplay fodder.
Well, yes, this is true. They also have a thing where they have boys stuff and girls stuff. Basically, things that are more aimed at a boy audience, things that are a little more aimed at a girl audience. Though that does not mean there's no crossover. There is plenty. But again, that goes into whatever you like. You can probably find an anime that falls into that category if you're willing to look. I think we've about covered it.
Yeah, I think we have.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it has boomed because it was something good that people finally paid attention to.
And swoosh!
Yes.
Conquered America in 10 seconds flat.
What can you do? Well, 20 years
Whatever.
flat, whatever. And some of us are glad. So I guess that's about it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.